Yang Taishan turned his head to look at Li's riding behind him, to see if she was injured in the battle. Suddenly a cold arrow shot out of the bushes. Yang Taishan was unable to dodge. The arrow penetrated the back of the heart. Li was shocked, called out, "Uncle, arrow! Arrow!" Yang Taishan heart a cold. "I do not expect me to die here today. But before I die, I have to kill the bandits and soldiers, so that my sister-in-law can escape." Shaking his spear and shouting wildly, he rushed over to the crowded place, and the arrow wound on his back hurt so much that he suddenly blacked out and fainted on top of the horse. At that time, Pao 1111 weak to her husband pushed away, the heart of the pain like a knife. In the blink of an eye the officers and soldiers chased up, to dodge, early to let a few soldiers embraced a mount. A military official raised the torch, to her face carefully measured for a while, nodded and said, "Is she? I can't tell that those two barbarians are quite capable, and have injured many of our brothers." Another military officer laughed and said, "Now finally accomplished, this trip hard work, each person always have more than 10 taels of silver reward." That military officer said, "HMPH. I just hope that the higher-ups will deduct less." Turning his head to the bugler, he said, "Close the line." The bugler raised his horn and blew. Bao Chui swallowed her voice and sobbed. Her heart only misses her husband, not knowing how his life. At this time the sky is already bright, the road gradually pedestrian, the people see the official troop team, are far away from avoiding. Bao Shikui initially worried about the rudeness of the soldiers, that know that all the military officials actually quite polite between the words and behavior, which is a little bit relieved. Line not several miles. Suddenly in front of the shouting vibration, more than 10 black-robed people with blades in hand, from the side of the road rushed out, when the first one drank. Shameless officers and soldiers, brutalization of the people, all threw the horse down to the life. The military official leading the group was furious and shouted, "What kind of bold bandits are causing trouble in the capital city? Get lost." A group of black-clothed men did not even say anything and rushed into the official troopers, and the two sides got into a melee. Although there were many soldiers, the black-clothed men were all skilled in martial arts, and for a while they killed each other. Bao Shiji, weak secretly happy, thought, "Is it Iron Brothers' friends get the message, come to help?" In the melee, an arrow flew, hitting the back of the horse negative pain, hooves to the north galloped. Bao Chui was shocked, arms around the neck of the horse, afraid to fall off the horse. Only to hear the sound of hooves behind the rapid, a horse chase. In the blink of an eye, a black horse swept past, the passenger on the horse holding a long rope, in the air turned a few times, the long rope flying out, rope on the rope circle set up the package of the horse. The two horses side by side and galloped. That person gradually shortened the rope, the two horses running also slowed down, and then run dozens of paces. That person whistled, he rode the black horse, to close the foot to stand still. Bao Chui's mount to the black horse, cannot forward, a long hiss, the front foot lift, people stand up. Bao Shiji weak labor most of the night, Anne is frightened, Anne is sad, this time can no longer pull the reins, hands are loose, fell off the horse, fainted. I do not know how much time passed in the sleep, and so on leisurely wake up, only feel like sleeping in a soft bed, and feel like the body covered with a quilt, very warm. She opened her eyes. The first eye is the top of the tent of the blue and white cloth tent, the original fruit is sleeping on the bed. She looked sideways, see the table in front of the bed with oil lamps, seems to have a man in black sitting on the edge of the bed. The man heard her turn over, busy standing up, gently opened the tent, asked in a low voice, "Sleep awake?" Pao Sikwei's sanity had not yet fully recovered, and she only felt that this person vaguely seemed to have déjà vu. That person reached out to touch her forehead, whispered, "Burning so hot, the doctor will come soon." Pao Sikwei confused and fall asleep again. After a while, it seems to feel a doctor to give her pulse diagnosis, and someone to feed her medicine. She was just sleeping, suddenly woke up in her dream and shouted, "Tai, Tai." Then she realized that someone patted her shoulder and whispered soothingly. When she woke up again, it was already daytime, and she couldn't help moaning. A person came closer and opened the tent. At this time, face to face, Pao Shiji weak see clearly, do not feel surprised, this person's face, the corner of the mouth with a smile. It is a few months ago, she saved the dying youth in the snow. Bao Chui said, "This is what place, I win the family." The young man shook his hand, signaling not to make a sound, and said in a low voice, "The officials and soldiers outside are chasing us very tightly, and we are now living in a rural farmer's house. I dare to lie that I am your husband, don't show your face." Bao Chui blushed, nodded and asked, "I'm in charge of it." That person, "Your mother's body is weak, to be well, after the villain then slowly tell." Bao Chui shocked, listening to his tone, it seems that her husband has suffered, hands clutching the corner of the quilt, trembling voice, he, what happened?" That person only advised, "Mother anxious no good, the body is important." Bao Chui said, Is he dead?" The man was full of hopelessness, nodded, said, "Master Yang unfortunate, to the thieves and soldiers killed." Said shook his head and sighed. Bao Chui hurt and pain attacked the heart, fainted, a long time to wake up, cried loudly. That person's voice to comfort. Bao Chui huffed and puffed, How did he die?" The man said, "Master Yang is 20 years old, long and broad, with a spear in his hand." Bao Chui said, "Exactly. That person, I saw him and the soldiers yesterday, killed several people, but unfortunately. Alas, unfortunately, a military officer sneaked around behind him, out of the gun stabbed into his back. Bao Chui couple love, and fainted, this day, water and rice do not enter, determined to hunger strike martyrdom husband. The man is not strong, the whole day only Sisawan and her talk to relieve boredom." Bao Shiji weak to later a little too much, asked, "Your name? How would know that I am in trouble and come to the rescue?" That person, "I am surnamed Yang, name Lai, yesterday and a few friends passed through here, is encountering the official soldiers to kill people. Villain saw the injustice, to save. I did not expect God has eyes, the saved is actually my great benefactor, is also really the fate of coincidence." Bao Shiji weak here, fate coincidence, 4 words, face a red, turn to the inside, no longer care about him, the heart of the pondering, suddenly up suspicion, turned around and said, "You and the soldiers was all the way." Yang Lai said, How? Bao Chichi said, "That day you and the soldiers and officials to capture the Taoist master, which was injured." Yang Lai said, "That day was really wrong. I came from the north, to go to Linen province, passing by your village, that know that for no reason an arrow shot, hit the back of the shoulder. If it is not the mother of great kindness to save, really died for no reason. What kind of Taoist priest are they trying to catch? Taoist priests catch ghosts, but the soldiers catch Taoist priests, really a mess." Said laughing. Bao Chui said, So you are passing by, not a group of them. I thought you also came to catch the Taoist priest, that they really do not want to save you." Then described how the soldiers came to capture the Chiu Shiji, and how he killed the soldiers. Bao Shiji said a moment, but saw him staring at himself, his face color obsessed, seems to be distracted, immediately stopped. Yang Lai smiled and said, "I am sorry. I was wondering how we can escape. Don't let the soldiers catch us again." Bao Chui cried, My husband has passed away, I still live for what? You go alone." Yang Lai said with a straight face, "The official was killed by the thieves and soldiers, and the injustice was unjustified. You do not try to avenge his death, but only want to seek death. The official was a hero in life, he was in the 9 springs. I'm afraid he can't rest in peace." Bao Chui said, "I am a weak woman, how can I have the ability to take revenge? Yang Lai was furious and said, "If you want to avenge your husband's death, I will take care of it. Do you know who the enemy is?" Bao Shiji weak thought for a while, said, "The commander of the general's name is Duan Tianda. He has a scar on his forehead. There is a piece of green mark on his face." Yang Lai said, "Both the name and the mark recognized. He will flee to the ends of the earth, but also must avenge this." He went out of the room to bring a bowl of porridge. "There is a bowl of peeled salted egg," said. "You do not cherish the body, how to revenge ah?" Bao Shiji weak thought reasonable, took the bowl to eat slowly. In grief, sleep in a daze. The next morning, the package of weak neatly dressed out of bed, combed a good bun in the mirror, find a piece of white cloth, cut a white flower inserted in the sideburns, for her husband with filial piety, but see the mirror in the face of flowers, couples have been ghosts and ghosts from the sadness, and cried out in pain. Yang Lai from outside came in, to wait for her crying stopped a little, soft voice, "Outside the road on the officials and soldiers have retreated, let's go." Bao Chui followed him out of the house. Yang Lai touched out a silver ingot, and gave it to the owner of the house, and brought the 2 horses over. The horse Bao Chui was riding had been hit by an arrow, and Yang Lai had already wrapped the arrow wound. Bao Chui said, "Where to go?" Yang Lai made a wink, asked her not to ask too many questions in front of people, help her on the horse, the 2 bridled to the north. Out of more than 10 miles, Bao Chui asked, "You take me there?" Yang Lai said, "Let's find a secluded place to live, to avoid the wind. When the official chase loose, I go to find the official's body, good for his burial, and then find Duan Tianda that traitor, killed for the official revenge." Bao Shiji weak character, their own less ideas, not to mention the aftermath of the catastrophe, alone, listening to his thoughtful, heart so grateful, said, "Yang Prime Minister, how can I repay you only good?" Yang Lai austere said, "My life is the mother saved, small people in this life for the mother to drive, that is, broken bones, to go to the fire, that should also be." Bao Shui said, "Only hope that as soon as possible to kill that big bad man Duan Tianda, to Iron Brother avenge the great. I this from him in the ground." Thinking of here, and drooped tears. 2 people traveled for a day, the night in Chang'an town store to rest. Yang Lai claimed to be a couple, and asked for a room. Bao Shiji weak heart anxiety, eat dinner without a word, secretly stroking the short sword given by Qiu Shiqi, the heart made up his mind. If he is a little rude, I will use the sword to commit suicide. Yang Lai ordered the shopkeeper to take 2 bundles of straw into the room, and so on the shopkeeper went out, bolted the door, spread the straw on the ground, he himself collapsed in the straw, covered with a felt blanket. On the packet of chichi said, "Mother, please sleep in peace." Said closed his eyes. Bao Chui's heart thumping, remembering her late husband, when it is really broken-hearted, stayed seated for half an hour, long sighed, not extinguished the candle flame, holding the short sword in hand, and the clothes fell on the bed. The next day when Bao Chui got up, Yang Lai has packed the harness, ordered shopkeeper to arrange breakfast. Bao Chui secretly grateful to him is the most sincere gentleman, guarded heart immediately eliminated most of the. To use breakfast, seize a dish of chicken fried dried silk, a dish of ham, a dish of sausage, a dish of smoked fish, and a small pot of fragrant japonica rice porridge. She was born in a poor family, since the Yang family, to make a living by farming, usually eat breakfast only a few pickles, half a piece of milk rot, in addition to New Year's festivals, celebrations and banquets, where to eat such a sophisticated diet. When eating, the heart is quite uneasy. When finished eating, the shopkeeper sent a parcel. At this time Yang Lai has gone out of the room. Bao Chui asked, "What is this?" Store companion said, "Sangong went out early this morning to buy, is the lady's replacement clothes." Sangong said, "Please lady changed on the road." Said put down the package, out of the room. Bao Chui opened the package to see, not feel stayed. Sees a set of full body onyx dress. White shoes and white socks solid all complete, even underwear, jacket, and roper, sweat towel and so on are also complete. Heart. Difficult for him, a young man, how to think so considerate. When she changed into her underwear, she thought that it was bought by Yang Lai himself and couldn't help but blush. She left home in the middle of the night in a hurry. Clothes have been untidy, coupled with a night of entanglement running away. More has been full of tattered dust and dirt. After changing clothes inside and outside of anew, the spirit also do not feel for the slightly revitalize. To be Yang Lai back to the room, to see him on the body has also been changed to bright and new. Two people on the road, sometimes one in front of the other, sometimes side by side. At this time is the Jiangnan spring will end. Roadside willow brush shoulder, flower gas intoxicating, field seedlings a new green. Yang Lai in order to ask her to relax and reduce the sadness, from time to time with her to talk about things. Bao Shiji's father is a small town of the uneducated scholar, only slightly educated. Her husband and brother Guo Xiaotian are rough men. Her life, she has never encountered such a spit of elegant, knowledgeable man, but feel that his words are meaningful and marvelous, the heart of the secret wonder. Only see all the way north, away from linen more and more far, but he never mentioned how to avenge himself, not to mention the burial of her husband, could not help but say, Yang Prime Minister, my husband's body. I do not know where to fall. Yang Lai said, it is not that the villain is not willing to go to find Zunfu corpse, for his burial, actually, because the day before yesterday, to save the mother killed the soldiers, now is the moment of the wind and fire. As long as the linen near the left side of the body, not by the soldiers, cannot be poisoned. Now the government everywhere chasing to get your son, said that your husband killed the official rebellion, the crime is very serious. To get his family, male beheading, female as a government prostitute. I don't care if I die, but if my wife is unprotected and is captured by the officials, she will be in a very bad situation. I am in the Yellow Springs, but also to be sad and hateful. Bao Chiwei heard him say sincerely, nodded. Yang Lai said, I have carefully thought about it, and the most important thing right now is to collect the body and bury it for your husband. When we arrive in Jiaxing, I will take out the silver and send someone to Linen to handle it properly. If you want me to do it in person, then I will take the risk to go there after you settle down in Jiaxing. Bao Shijiwei thought that it would be unreasonable to ask him to take a big risk, and said, if you can find a reliable person to do it, it would be the same. And said, my husband has a brother surnamed Guo, at the same time was killed, dare to bother the public for his burial. I said the tears. Yang Lai said, this matter is easy, mother, rest assured that is. On the contrary, the matter of revenge, do intend that thief is the court general's. To kill him is really not easy, at the moment he is also tightly guarded, only slowly waiting for the opportunity. Bao Shiji weak only want to kill the enemy, then suicide martyrdom husband. Yang Lai, these words are true, but I do not know to wait until what year or day, heart anxious, crying out, choking, I do not want to report what revenge. I'm such a hero, but I've been killed. I'm a weak woman, and what can I do? I'll just die to honor my husband. Yang Lai pondered for a long time, also seems to be very difficult, finally said, Mother, you trust me? Bao Chiwei nodded. Yang Lai said, right now, we can only go to the north to avoid the pursuit of the officials and soldiers. The Song officials and soldiers can't chase us to the north to catch us. As long as we cross the Huai River, we won't be in much danger. When things cool down, we'll go south to take revenge. My lady, don't worry about it. The officials' blood injustice will be borne by my own people. Bao Shiji weak great hesitation. His family is broken, no relatives, if not to follow him to go, alone a weak woman and where to go to settle down. That night, I saw with my own eyes the ferociousness of the soldiers killing and setting fire to people, if they fall into their hands, to be used as official prostitutes, that really can't live, can't die. But this man is not a relative or a friend, and I am a widow. How can I go with a young man? If she raised her blade to cut her own throat, this man would definitely stop her. I feel that the way to go is uncertain, the future is very difficult, thinking about it, really tender. She has been crying for days, but even her tears have almost dried up. Yang Lai said, if you feel that the planning of the villain is not right, but please command, I have no disobedience. Bao Shiji weak see him very accommodating, the heart of the opposite feel unhappy, unless at this time their own immediate death, 100, otherwise there is no other way, there is no alternative, under the hopelessness. Only bowed his head and said, you see to do it. Yang Lai was overjoyed, said, mother's life virtue, villain life dare not forget, mother. Bao Chishi said, do not mention this later. Yang Lai said, yes, yes. That night, the two in Udon town, an inn, still in the same room. Since Bao Chiwei promised to go to the north, Yang Lai's speech and demeanor has been less formal than before, sometimes showing the feeling of joy. Bao Shiji weak vaguely feel that there is something wrong, but see he did not have the slightest rite of passage, thinking that he is just thankful for the return. I do not think there will be any dissenting views. The next day in the afternoon, the two arrived at the Jiaxing house. That is a large city in western Zhejiang, silk and rice distribution place. Since the very prosperous, the ancient name of Xiushu, 5 generations of Shijin renamed Jiahe County. Southern Song Dynasty when Emperor Xiaozong was born here. After the throne was renamed Jiaxing, meaning the place of the dragon Xing near the capital Linen, the city is thriving. Yang Lai said, let's find an inn to rest. Bao Chiwei has been afraid of the soldiers to come, said, the day is still early, can still catch the road. Yang Lai said, here's a good store, mother's clothes old, have to buy a few sets to replace. Bao Chiwei dumbfounded, said, this is not just yesterday to buy it. How come it's old? Yang Lai said, there's a lot of dust on the road, so the clothes won't look good after a day or two of wear. Besides, like your mother like this color, how can you not wear the world's top quality clothes? Bao Shiji heard him praise his own appearance, inner joy, bowed his head and said, I am in the heat of mourning. Yang Lai busy said, I care about the small man. Bao Shiji weak will not say anything. She looks beautiful, but her husband, Yang Taishan, has never been so praised in person, lowered his head and peeked to Yang Lai look. See he did not look mean, a heart chestnut 6. I do not know whether it is happy or sad. Yang Lai asked the passers-by, and went to the largest local Xiushui inn to join the store. After washing, Yang Lai and Bao Chiwei ate some snacks together. The two sat in the room opposite each other. Bao Chi weak want him to ask for another guest room, but do not know how to start a red face a white, heavy heart. After a while, Yang Lai said, Your Highness, please make yourself comfortable. I went out to buy items and returned. Bao Chiwei nodded and said, Xianggong don't spend too much. Yang Lai smiled and said, it's a pity that your wife is in mourning and can't wear jewelry. So if you want to spend more money, you won't be able to.